It's like taxation. I forget what year it was. It was the very, very early 1900s. We had a quote, they called it a temporary tax. And, it's permanent. Just like when we went off the gold standard in 1971, that was temporary. But no, it wasn't. People embrace it because, somebody's got to save us. And that's how they're going to push the CBDC onto the population. We are a market crash off from that. Whenever the market crashes, that will be instituted pretty quickly.
You think the technology's there now to put it full in to effect?
It's pretty darn close. I mean, if it's not already there, it's really close.
Then, I mean, in the times that we're in, how is your stress level? Seeing everything happening?
Well, obviously over time, I'm going to say my stress level was probably highest, 2014 to 17, 18. And I mean, we got overwhelmed with fake news. And I mean, that was probably, for me, that was probably the worst, to see what I knew was obvious bullshit coming out, and you'd see every single network talking about it like whatever it was, like it was real. So that, I mean, yeah, that I've always dug for the truth, and it's been stressful for me to see obvious to anyone with any type of critical thinking, to see something that's obvious bullshit to be passed off and talked about and believed to be real. I mean, that's been the biggest stress for me.
And you feel it was higher then than it is today?
No, it's obviously higher today. It's higher now than it was, say, 10 years ago, but I think I'm better able to deal with it.
How do you deal with it, Bill?
I don't know. You just keep digging, and you keep, proving to yourself. I mean, if you can look at something from 10 different angles and come up with the same answer, yet out in public, the answer is 180 degrees from what you came to from 10 different angles, you just know that it's bullshit. And I've got to say that that's one of my God-given talents, is that I do have a good nose for bullshit. I can look at something usually probably not even for more than 5 minutes and know that it's bullshit.
And the reason I ask that, I've gotten to a point where if people want to be blissfully unaware, they can be blissfully unaware. I think there's something major coming. Don't know when, don't know what hour, but it's inevitable. And
right.
I used to get really frustrated because I see people just blissfully unaware, man. They're going to Europe. They're going here. They tell me I'm nuts. They tell me I'm a doomer. I'm black pill, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And it used to really frustrate me that it's like, how are you not seeing this?
Well, yeah, I've thought for years and years how wonderful it would be to be ignorant of what's really happening. The only problem with that is when, when we get into that last final chapter, either you're in the right position or you're not in the right position. And if you're not, that's the rest of your life, however long it's going to be, that you're going to be behind the eight ball. So, while we have this status quo, yeah, it would be nice to be ignorant and stick your head in the sand and have no worries. But that's not going to work once this thing snaps, and it's going to snap. Let's talk about the big, beautiful bill. It's going to add $22 trillion over 10 years. So what you're saying is the system can't survive unless we have a deficit of $2.2 trillion per year. It can't stand on its own. The financial system, the real economy.
When I hear this big, beautiful bill, I think, is this the Inflation Reduction Act? But it's just called something else now? Because remember, the Inflation Reduction Act was going to bring down inflation, but yet you're increasing spending.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. And uh, we'll see whether and how it gets passed. But as I've said all along, this is a mathematical equation that can't be fixed. I mean, the debt in no possible way can it be paid off in current dollars. There's just not a possible way to do it. When I say current dollars, I'm talking about the value of current dollars. We're going to have to go through a massive devaluation. And the flip side of massive devaluation is hyperinflation. That's what it means.
And that's what's happening now. And okay, so what do you envision then? What are they attempting to do with devaluing the dollar and then tariffs? But although the tariffs are getting blocked right now by the court system, so
they're trying to make the debt payable, and I mean, you still couldn't make the debt payable with the dollar sitting at 50% of current purchasing power.
So now that the tariffs are blocked for now, what do you expect them to do next?
Who knows? I mean, really, who knows? There's been so many things you just sit back and watch, and you're like, "Wow, I didn't see that coming," or that was you just. And let's use Trump as an example. So, just out of the blue, he starts calling, Putin a crazy man. I mean, that's not the way to negotiate.
Yeah, and
who saw that coming?
And you'll have the loyal, so say it's 5D chess, 4D, whatever that is.
Right. Yeah, and they probably used to listen to Q also. How'd that work out?
Bill, I still have people tell me this is all part of the plan.
Yeah, trust the plan. Okay.
What you and I talked before the election, we talked shortly after the election. As now we're over 100 days into this administration with Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick, what are your thoughts?
One of my biggest concerns is the laws that they want to put in place regarding anti-Semitism. I mean, I'm not pro anti-Semitism. What I am pro is pro First Amendment, and people should be able to say whatever they want to say. They can't be violent. You can't see violence, but people should be able to protest. Like look at these. The problem at these colleges, they protest and they shut a library down, so a regular student can't go in and actually study in the library. They can't get in, they can't get out. They're blocking passage. That's wrong. But they certainly have the right to say, I'm pro-Hamas, I'm pro-Israeli, whatever. But, when there's violence, I mean, then there's laws that cover that. And the existing laws, they don't need new laws. They just need to enforce what's currently on the books.
Yeah, and this is what the concern with all this is. Once it starts, they just expand it out.
Right. Yeah, well, perfect example of that. Look at the Patriot Act that came out right after 9/11, which was written prior to 9/11. So I guess somebody had knowledge that this was going to be needed. But look what's happened with the Patriot Act and how that is for time.
And once they put these measures into place, they never relinquish it. I mean,
they never go back.
No,
they never go back. It's like taxation. I forget what year it was. It was the very, very early 1900s. We had a quote. They called it a temporary tax, and it's permanent. Just like when we went off the gold standard in 1971, that was temporary, but no, it wasn't.
Well, and now you have the real ID, which I actually have to fly next week, and I have to take my passport, which the intention for the passport was for international, but now you have to use it for
Correct.
domestic.
Right.
But nobody. This is the problem. People don't. People embrace this stuff, but it's inevitable. I mean, you can't. At this point, you can't stop it.
Yeah, people, well, and people embrace it because, oh, somebody's got to save us. And that's how they're going to push the CBDC onto the population. They'll tank the markets. You'll see the great taking in place where people are just outright losing their assets to institutions that go down. And then you'll have people begging, save us. And the save us is going to be CBDC, which obviously creates more of a problem because then even the bubble gum, the bubble gum that you buy, even that's tracked. So, I mean, it's a tracking system is what it is.
How far off do you think we are from that, Bill?
We are a market crash off from that. Whenever the market crashes, that will be instituted pretty quickly.
You think the technology's there now to put it full in to effect?
It's pretty darn close. I mean, if it's not already there, it's really close.